My name's Alex. Well, technically, it's Alexei, but call me Alex. And no, I'm not an alcoholic. I just like a good smoke now and then. Where do I do it? On the apartment stairwell, of course. Yeah, I know it's not the most respectful thing, and honestly, someone should probably stick a cactus under me for that. But what other options do I have? If I smoke in the bathroom, my girlfriend gets mad. And trust me, that woman can throw a flip-flop like a ninja. Plus, the smoke goes into the ventilation, and neighbors start complaining. Not ideal, going all the way downstairs to smoke outside? Also a number. If you're not a smoker, you might not get it, but we can go out for a smoke every 20 minutes. In an old building without an elevator, I'd either end up ripped like Schwarzenegger or dead on the 5th trip. The balcony? Yeah, no. I might not be a saint, but I'm not about to start flicking cigarette butts down on people's heads. I do have some standards. Anyway, they recently cleaned up the stairwell. That mix of whetstone and bleach in the air? Not exactly refreshing, but I wasn't out there for the aroma. I live on the 4th floor, second to the top in our charming little 4-story building. Been living here with my girlfriend for about 4 months now, which also means I've been using the stairwell as my personal smoking lounge for 4 months. I even keep a coffee can as an ashtray. The other day, I heard some grumbling and cussing, the kind that says, someone's moving something heavy. Imagine my surprise when a single guy comes struggling up the stairs, carrying what looked like an ancient grandfather clock strapped to his back with ropes. He nearly slipped on the freshly mopped floor as he set the clock down against the wall. Then, without saying a word, he gave me a nod. The international sign for "got a spare cigarette?" I smoke cheap, so I handed him one. He lit up and we got to talking. Turns out he's doing renovations on the top floor, 5th. New owners, apparently. He said I'd probably be seeing more of him and his crew the next couple of weeks. But as far as I could tell, the guy was the crew. He was hauling stuff, fixing things, you name it. A real one-man show. I joked with him, kinda, asking if he could keep the noise down during the renovations. I mean, living in an old Soviet-style building. Sound travels. I'd rather not have a concert of hammers and drills joining my girlfriend's war cries when I get home from work. He just laughed, thanked me for the smoke, and dragged his clock upstairs. Over the next couple weeks, we ran into each other pretty often during my smoke breaks. Same routine. Cussing, carrying stuff, sharing cigarettes. Nothing too weird except for this one time when a strange smell started coming through the vents into our bathroom. I asked him about it. He said the building's wiring was ancient, likely burning out during the reno. Said the smell was just a bit of melted insulation. Nothing serious. He lit another cigarette, crushed the butt on the railing, and went back to work. Now, I was curious, who the hell buys a place in this building? It's a hidden gem, sure, but still a gem you have to polish. And with all the noise and smells, I figured I had a right to know who was moving in above me. So I headed up one day to introduce myself. The hallway was dark, like someone stole the bulbs. But I found the door. Pressed the buzzer. Nothing. Dead silence. Makes sense, I thought. Maybe they disconnected the doorbell during reno to keep complainers away. I knocked. Still nothing. I sat on the steps, pulled out a smoke, and tried to rationalize. Maybe they were just busy. No big deal, except I had just seen the guy 15 minutes earlier, same as always, dragging supplies upstairs, and now? Nothing. Then I noticed the power meter next to the door. Dead. Not moving at all. That's when the door across the hall creaked open, and a little old lady peeked out. She gave me a suspicious look. Probably thought I was some crackhead trying to break in. I quickly explained, I live downstairs just checking on the renovations. Wanted to meet the new neighbor. Told her I'd been seeing the contractor guy every day, and we'd shared plenty of smoke breaks. Her face changed. She wasn't annoyed. She looked scared? Pale? She told me that apartment's been sealed for over a month. The man who lived there, an old drunk, even older than her, died 40 days ago. Apparently, he'd been on a bender, had some sort of health emergency, maybe a stroke, maybe his back gave out. Fell to the floor, paralyzed. No one helped. Everyone was used to his yelling and smashing stuff, so no one checked. In a desperate attempt to move, he reached for the old grandfather clock. It had 2 heavy weights hanging on ropes. He tried to pull himself up using one, and the clock fell. Crushed his skull. Instant death. No family. Cops sealed the place. End of story. I turned on my phone flashlight and looked at the door. Sure enough, police seal, still intact. I reached for another cigarette, hands shaking. The old lady didn't even scold me, just looked at me and said, "You smoke like Vasily Mikhailovich." He loved to smoke too. "Who?" I asked. She ducked into her apartment and came back with a photo. I nearly dropped my lighter, and it was him. The same guy I'd been smoking with for 2 weeks. Laugh all you want. Call me crazy. Half of you probably already think I'm making this up, but I swear it happened. Maybe those stories about spirits staying for 40 days after death aren't just stories. I smoked with a dead man. We talked, shared cigarettes. I saw his clock. Either he had a twin with a dark sense of humor, or something way creepier happened in that stairwell. And I'll never forget the smell of bleach and tobacco smoke.